Ever wish you could just tell your computer what to do and it just do it?
Yeah.
Like no more clicking through menus or filling out forms.
Yeah.
We're diving into the world of AI that can do exactly that.
It really is like having a personal assistant, but for all your software.
Oh, okay.
These AI agents, they're called GUI agents, can understand commands and can interact with any graphical interface just like a human would.
So is this just like a tech fad or is this something real?
Oh, no, this is definitely something real. The market for this is actually expected to hit about $70 billion by 2028,
Wow.
which is a compound annual growth rate of 43.9%.
Okay, so why is it growing so fast? Why is there so much hype around this?
I think there are a few things. One is remote work has made digital efficiency way more important.
Yeah.
At the same time, software is becoming so complex,
Right.
and we're also realizing we need to make technology more accessible.
Yeah, for sure.
And these GUI agents address all of those things, which is why it's blowing up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So who are the main companies working on this? I know you mentioned Microsoft, but what are they doing specifically?
Microsoft is definitely a leader in this space.
Okay.
They have their Power Automate platform that uses AI to streamline workflows, and then their Copilot AI is getting smarter all the time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
It can actually control software through natural language now, which is pretty incredible.
It does seem like they're really leaning into Copilot and putting it into all their products.
It is in a ton of stuff. Like you see it in Word and Excel and their coding tools, even the operating system.
Oh, wow.
They're definitely all in on it.
So are there other companies working on this, or is this just a Microsoft thing?
Oh, no, there are lots of companies.
Okay.
Anthropic, the company behind the Claude AI, has also made big strides in GI control. Their system can interact with web interfaces and complete some pretty complex tasks,
Like what?
like booking flights or making reservations,
Wow.
all through natural language instructions.
So instead of me like having to go on a website and click through a million things, I could just tell the AI to do it.
That's pretty much it, like an ultra-efficient virtual assistant
Yeah.
for all your digital needs.
Sign me up.
And Google's working on this too.
Okay.
They have a rumored project called Jarvis
Okay.
that would use their Chrome browser to automate web-based tasks.
So it seems like this could become a feature in all the tools that we already use instead of having to adopt new platforms.
Yeah, I think that's right. The AI could just be built into what we already have.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. This all sounds amazing, but I can't help but think about the downsides, like the robots are taking over scenario.
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest questions is what happens to jobs if AI can do so many things?
Right.
But I don't think it's a simple equation of robots just replacing humans.
Okay. So it's more nuanced than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like how so?
Technological advancements have always kind of disrupted the job market, but they've also always created new opportunities.
All right.
So I think this is more about humans and AI working together,
Okay.
figuring out how to leverage AI's strengths while still focusing on things that humans are better at, like creativity and critical thinking.
Yeah. So like emotional intelligence, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's more about evolving alongside AI instead of being afraid of being replaced by it
I think so, yeah.
and finding new ways to contribute.
Yeah, adapting and finding that balance between human and artificial intelligence. This has the potential to make work more efficient, but also more fulfilling.
Yeah, for sure.
But it definitely raises questions about the future of work.
Yeah. A lot to think about. So it seems like there are a lot of potential benefits, but there are some legitimate concerns that we need to think about as well.
Definitely.
Like, what are some of the biggest concerns in your mind?
We need to be really thoughtful about how we develop and implement this. Like, we need to have these conversations and figure out some ethical guidelines and make sure there are strong security measures in place to protect people.
So for someone listening to this, what would you say is the key takeaway?
I'd say we're seeing a huge shift in how we interact with technology.
Uh-huh.
AI is becoming more intuitive and more accessible and way more integrated into our lives. And even though there are challenges, the potential benefits are huge.
Yeah.
This is really just the beginning.
It sounds like we're on the verge of something truly transformative.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at some of the specific companies and research initiatives driving this innovation.
Yeah, let's do that. We've talked about companies like Microsoft and Anthropic and Google, but one of the key concepts here is multimodal AI.
Multimodal AI. That sounds kind of complicated. What does that mean?
Imagine like you're editing a photo.
Okay.
Instead of using menus and tools, you could just tell the AI, Make the sky more blue and crop out that person on the left.
Yeah.
Multimodal AI means that the system can understand your voice command and the visual information.
Okay.
So it's processing multiple modes of input.
So it's like it has eyes and ears, and it can like connect what it sees and hears to
Right.
understand what you want.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It's all about making technology more intuitive and more accessible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like imagine somebody who can't use a mouse or a keyboard.
Right.
With this, they could potentially control their whole computer with their voice.
Wow.
That's a huge step forward in accessibility.
Yeah, that's a really cool application.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like all the other possibilities, like even in customer service.
Yeah.
Instead of like going through all those annoying phone menus or talking to a chatbot,
Yeah,
you could just have an AI agent that actually understands your problem
for sure.
and can get you to the solution.
Yeah, the applications are vast. Healthcare is another big one.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine AI agents helping doctors analyze medical images
Okay.
or even assisting patients in managing their health records. It could streamline so many processes and improve the quality of care.
It is kind of mind-blowing to think about all the ways that this could impact our lives.
Yeah.
But we talked about the job market earlier.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, how do you think this will impact jobs going forward?
Whenever we introduce automation, there's always that fear of job displacement.
Right.
But I think it's also important to think about the new jobs and opportunities it could create.
Okay, yeah.
History has shown that while tech might automate some jobs, it also creates new ones that we might not even be able to think of right now.
Right.
So I think it's really about approaching this with like a forward-thinking mindset
Okay.
and equipping people with the skills to thrive in this new world.
So what kind of skills should people be focusing on?
Things like creativity, problem solving, interpersonal skills, the things that humans are really good at and AI still struggles with.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It
Yeah.
sounds like a shift in education and training is going to be key to make this transition successful.
It's huge. We need to be proactive and invest in education that prepares people for the future.
Yeah.
It's not just about technical skills. It's also about those uniquely human capabilities that are always going to be valuable.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. We can't just wait for things to happen. We have to try to shape the future.
Yeah.
All this talk about the potential benefits is really exciting. But, we've also talked about some of the risks,
Yeah.
like data privacy. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
That's definitely one of the most critical things to think about.
Yeah.
As these AI agents become more a part of our lives, they're going to have access to tons of personal data.
Right, like our browsing history, our
Yeah.
financial information, even our health records.
Exactly. And that raises a lot of questions about how we protect that data and make sure it's not misused.
Yeah, for sure.
We need really strong security and clear guidelines on how this data can be used
Okay.
and stored.
Yeah.
We also need to think about transparency and accountability.
Like who's responsible if an AI makes a mistake or misuses someone's data?
That's right.
Sounds like a lot of legal and ethical issues to work out.
Definitely. This is where policymakers and regulators have a big role to play.
Okay.
They need to establish some clear frameworks that can balance innovation with protecting individual rights and privacy.
So it's not just a technological challenge, it's also a societal one.
For sure.
We need to be having these conversations now to make sure that we're being thoughtful about where this technology is headed.
It's a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
Researchers, developers, policymakers, and even just everyday people all need to be part of the conversation.
To make sure AI benefits everyone.
Exactly.
Well, it's clear that this tech is incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
and it could really change how we interact with the digital world.
Uh-huh.
But we need to proceed with caution and really think about these concerns about privacy, security, and jobs.
It's all about finding that balance,
Okay.
embracing the potential, but also paying attention to the risks.
We've covered a lot today. This has been a really interesting look at this whole world of GUI agents.
Yeah.
As we start to wrap up, what would you say is like the one big thing you want to leave our listener with?
I'd say we're at the beginning of a major paradigm shift.
Okay.
AI is becoming more and more integrated into our lives, and GUI agents are a big part of that.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time, but it's also a time to be thoughtful and careful.
So as we move forward, we need to be excited about the potential, but also aware of the limitations and potential downsides.
That's right. It's about making sure AI serves humanity and not the other way around.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that, I think we can move on to some specific examples and real-world applications of all this.
Yeah, let's do that. We've talked about the big picture stuff like the potential, the challenges, all the ethical considerations.
Yeah.
But let's get into some specific, like where are we seeing this in action today? Like real world examples.
Well, Microsoft is leading the way.
Okay.
Like we said, they've been adding AI into their products for a while. And we're starting to see some really cool applications.
So what kind of stuff can these AI agents actually do?
So you've got Microsoft's Power Automate,
Mm-hmm.
which is a platform where you can automate tasks like moving data between applications or sending notifications.
Right.
It used to require some technical skills to set up,
Yep.
but now they've added AI that can understand natural language.
Okay.
So you literally just tell it what you want it to do, and it builds the workflow for you.
So no more needing to be like a coding whiz to automate your stuff.
Exactly. It's way more accessible now.
That's really cool.
And then there's Copilot, which just keeps getting better.
I know we talked about that.
It can control tons of software through natural language.
Uh-huh.
So you need to like format a spreadsheet or create a presentation or even write code.
Yeah.
You can just tell Copilot what to do and it'll do it.
It's like having a personal assistant who is also a tech expert.
Pretty much. And it's not just Microsoft. Anthropic's Claude AI is another system that can work with web interfaces in some really sophisticated ways.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, what makes Claude different.
It's really good at handling those complex tasks that have multiple steps.
Okay.
Like, let's say you want to book a flight and a hotel for a trip.
Yeah.
You could tell Claude something like, find me a flight to San Francisco next week and book a hotel near the Moscone Center.
Uh-huh.
And Claude can interact with all those different websites,
Right.
compare prices, and actually book the whole thing for you without you having to do anything.
It's like magic.
It takes all the headache out of it.
It does.
Yeah.
So with all this AI stuff going on, what do you think the future holds? Like when will we all have our own AI assistant doing all our work for us?
I think we're kind of already seeing the beginning of that.
Okay.
A lot of these features are available in beta or early access,
Yeah.
so people are starting to actually use them. I think the real turning point will be when it becomes so seamless
Yeah.
and integrated that you don't even notice it. Like we'll just interact with our computers naturally talking or typing,
Yeah.
and the AI will just be working in the background.
Almost like that ambient computing idea where the technology just fades away.
Exactly. That's what a lot of these companies are aiming for.
Mhm.
AI that isn't separate or scary,
Yeah.
but is just this helpful thing that makes our lives easier and more efficient.
I like that. This has been really fascinating. I feel like we've learned a lot about how this tech could change everything. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I think the big takeaway is that we're in this new era where the line between humans and computers is getting blurrier.
Ah.
AI is learning to talk to us and understand us.
Yeah.
And that creates all these incredible opportunities, but also some real challenges. We need to be careful and responsible.
So we had to be excited about the potential, but also really think about the impact on society.
Exactly.
Well said. So, listeners, the next time you're clicking through endless menus or trying to figure out a spreadsheet, just remember, help might be on the way.
It might.
An AI that could do all that boring stuff for you, what will you do with all that free time? That's something to think about. This has been The Deep Dive.